Well, good morning from the ridge.
Good morning.
How are all of our coffee chat with chickens people this morning? Gosh, it's beautiful.
I have to change it to goats because they're noisy.
Yeah, they are. But we're going to do something a little different this morning, guys. Instead of just sitting there talking to you, we don't have time for that. We got to get stuff done. So we're just going to bring you along with our chores so we can talk and get stuff accomplished at the same time.
Yeah.
And then we're back on this build, y'all. You're getting to see what we're doing next. That'll be Saturday's video. So, all right. Well, the garden is a gardening. So usually the first thing that we do is, as you can hear, we have to feed the goats because they're noisy. So usually Jason will run over there and start with the goats. I usually start with the rabbits. Sorry about the sun. It is bright. This is our new doe. And of course, you guys remember the babies. Yeah. So it's just been a really long week so far. I mean, I can't believe it's Thursday already. But, wonder how hot this water is yet. Oops. We got home from Freedom Weekend and immediately started in. Like, I'm kind of ashamed to say that we're still sleeping in the camper because we haven't unloaded yet. But by the time we get done working, and even yesterday after I got done helping Jason work on the kitchen, I still had to process a bunch of beanie weenies because being off grid at that party, no one and Tim didn't have the fridge or freezer space to deal with all the leftovers. So we, of course, always overcook at these events because everybody brings so much. And so there were tons of hot dogs and tons of hamburgers left. And so I brought it all back, and I'm like, there's no way this is all gonna go to waste. I don't sit right. So I'm like, I can make them into something. Beanie weenies. So Swami and I ran and got some beans and stuff for me to start soaking. And I still had to do that last night after working all day. So those turn out good. But when you run the risk of a lot of siphoning and jars not sealing correctly when you're dealing with anything that has like a fatty in it. And these had bacon and the hot dogs, and so I had a few that didn't seal, and which is fine because I already put them in the crock pot for today. And guess what we're gonna eat all day? I'm probably not gonna enjoy that at night. But, you know, get my drift. So, Jack, you're good. You guys need some more. And of course, our friends the Williamsons took one of our bucks. So I need to check in with them and see how that's going. She looks good.
She's good. I just need a scoop for the boys over there.
Actually, Jack's good.
I'd say them two were good for today. I just need.
That water's good. That's good. Hi, guys. They're going to be getting separated here real soon. We picked up some marketplace deals on some cages. So, got to do a few repairs on some of them, and yeah, you know, add it to the list. Checklist. And of course, you guys have met the new flock. They are almost ready to integrate into the big flock.
Hey, did you know that some of them have the feather feet?
Yeah, I noticed that. I don't know what the feather feet mean, but I mean, it's kind of cool.
Right.
They were a good deal, so not mad at it at all. Of course, Rue and the ladies are getting their morning breakfast. And there is a broody hen. At least I'm pretty sure she's broody. We'll see if she's laying. Yep, she sure is. Can I see if you have any eggs? You're feisty. Thing is, I don't even see. Yeah, I don't have enough hands.
Oh, it's the white one today.
Yeah. She's already picked it.
Off.
Go for it. She don't even have anything there. Goodness. The struggles when you don't debeak. I don't debeak. I think it's cool. But, and then, yeah, there's the other one. But she jumped off, so, I don't know. No eggs yet this morning, but it is very early. Our ladies like to lay more towards the afternoon. So did everybody have a good 4th of July holiday? I know we did. So now, once we get all the animals done, it's time to work the garden, which means watering, and I'd ordered in some more, I don't know where he did with them. Oh, you got a kink, baby. I got you. Not sure where he put them, though. Oh, I do. I see him. Ordered in some more ties for my plants because they like to fall over because they get so big. But the garden is doing amazing. Still fighting the blight. I was a little upset coming back from Freedom Weekend because I thought it was under control. And when I got back, I was like, oh no. But no, they're doing really good. But see, they're growing. These are the ones that I really like because I can make them be doubles. Can't see me, huh? I know, that sun is so bright. Welcome to my world. But I can connect them like this, and then it allows me to have a little bit better control over the plant. I mean, this one's kind of far away, but, and then it's not putting so much stress on it.
Take some clips and go to the other end.
We'll go together, baby. Because the good people want to talk to us, both of us.
I don't need to know my shenanigans.
Yeah, so tell me about that brick wall you hit yesterday.
Oh, guys, yeah, let me tell you. So, if you kind of notice, we're getting some luscious green grass here in the garden area. And right behind the tiny house. You know, I know a lot of people have told me, you know, with our mud and the erosion, hey, you need to plant grass seed. Well, that's foolish to me because we keep driving over and digging and changing things up. So why would I plant grass seed? The stuff is not cheap when I'm going to dig it back up. But Mother Nature's provided, and it makes sense, you know, the spots that they're from the tiny house, because I had dug some trenches which I need to fill back in, kind of testing depth of how far I could go down, and it holds water. So with it being able to hold the water there, oh, getting great grass down that hillside. Of course, I'm going to tear some of that up because I've got to fill those trenches back in. But I was weed whipping yesterday. She had her pottery and said, well, while she goes to pottery, I'll go bust out the weed whipper, because the weeds in here were like up to the top of the buckets. We were having to wear muck boots out here in the morning just because of the morning dew, and I'm like, yeah, that's not gonna work. So I did that up until, I don't know, lunchtime, and now I was hydrating the whole time, you know, taking breaks, you know, run out of string, need more gas, that kind of stuff. But still, she got back from pottery, we had lunch, and we started up on the roof for the outdoor kitchen, and it was game over. We got, what, 3 rows up?
Yeah, 3 rows.
3 rows of the purlins, plus we put up one of the fascia boards, and I was done. Being on that roof, it was full sun by that time. I didn't think it was gonna be as hot as it was, but then we came in and it was, I looked at the temperature out of curiosity because I didn't think it was supposed to get that hot yesterday. It was 91.
Oh, it got real hot.
Yeah.
I need more copper this morning.
And so, yeah, I was done. Could not, by the time we got everything set up, the tools and everything, we had lost most of our shade from the porch part. And it was like, well, if we just hurry up and get this other part done, then we'll have more shade. But I couldn't do it.
Nah.
And you had the canning to do, so it was kind of one of those that we knew, hey, we're gonna work outside until we can't, you know, without hurting ourselves, and then go inside and do the food prep, because you've got another batch of stuff today, right?
I do. So last night I did all the beans for the beanie weenies, and then today all those leftover hamburgers that were made, I'm gonna chop those up and make sloppy joe to can. That way, whenever we're hungry and tired, all we gotta do is grab those jars of sloppy joe and we're golden, good to go. See, look, it's been only 2 days since I sprayed the copper last. So definitely need the copper again today.
Yeah, we're gonna have to come up with a system this fall when the garden's done. And we've been talking about it. We just haven't settled on an exact plan of this is what, the third year that we've been using these tubs. Now we amend the soil every year before we replant. We add to it, put our nutrients, you know, the fertilizer, rabbit poo, obviously. But if you remember when we first filled them, we put, you know, leaves, sticks, twigs. Well, that stuff is broken down inside the tubs now and already done its composting, that's the word I'm looking for. And I think we're getting lack of nutrient. Now, we don't do any soil testing, guys. We're not doing moisture testing, like everything. We were actually kind of talking about this yesterday. Our gardening technique is so...
Learn as you go.
Well, that and like luck of the draw, right?
Not all luck.
No, but it's one of those, like, and actually I was talking to Eric yesterday on the phone, I guess it was, about that, where things are seeming different this year. Even for them, it's like, hey, the crops that really boosted for them last year aren't doing as well, and you know, but then other things that hadn't done well in the past are doing good. So it's kind of like a flip-flop, and it was one of those that, you know, I'd rather be lucky than good on just about anything. So that's kind of where we're at. But back to it, right? Oh, squirrel moment. Yeah. Is we want to be able to, we need a spot that ideally would be like a concrete floor with concrete walls. And I know you guys are coming up already, right? You have a big concrete foundation down there. Why don't you do it in there? Well, because we have other plans for that. But what I'd like to do is take all these buckets and tubs and dump them out at the end of the season, add grass clippings and anything else compost wise into that, and let it compost over the winter. I can go in every, you know, once a week or how often it's going to need it, use the bucket of the tractor, scoop it around, mix it up a little bit, add more to it as we need, and then just refill the buckets in the spring when we're ready to start planting. But the other part is that's a lot of work, right? And our hope was, like with this trellising, was to keep it up. Not, you know, which we can go through once the plants are done and pull the buckets out.
And like leave it up for good, you know, like
right,
not have to redo it again.
All we have to do is move buckets around and that kind of stuff, and but that's always subject to change also. But heck, the way I see the grass growing, which we like the tubs, they are raised, we don't have to bend over as far.
I don't think I could ever go back to gardening in.
But seeing the way this grass grows in here, I'm like, man, what if we just cleared it all out until it did in-ground garden, and then we realized we'd have to lay on the ground in order to do anything. Like,
yeah, for sure. But yeah, definitely need to get that copper. Cucumbers are going crazy, and they might not be able to tell, but I got beans in here too. And of course the marigolds are doing their job. You saw the amazing zinnia garden I have. I call it the zinnia garden, but there's actually like 8 or 9 different kinds of flowers but those zinnias I think have just kind of taken over. It does look like I'm getting some perimeter flowers coming on, but I'm not mad. The bees we've seen.
But the peppers are finally
doing something.
Well, you got some lettuces in here.
Yeah, I knew I still had some lettuce going. It's probably bolted.
Look, there's a little pepper.
Or gotten bitter.
Yeah. So yeah,
But it's coming on every day. I mean, I've already started freezing tomatoes just because I don't have time to like process them all right now. But every day I'm already pulling.
And that worked out really good last year.
Yeah.
I mean, we had to do it out of necessity because we were in Tennessee. But
Swami just put them all in the freezer.
we took them whole and of course you let them sit on the counter for a day or two, right? Get the full red ripen, and then wash them off, bag them up, make sure they're dry, and put them in your freezer whole, and then process it afterwards. I mean, we make more sauces and marinaras.
Yeah, I think that was probably one of the biggest things that I decided that we were going to do. I broke it now.
Getting that glare, sorry guys.
I know, it's so bright. I'm not gonna like can diced tomatoes or stewed tomatoes or anything like that, because for the most part, what we use are sauces. So our pizza sauce, our marinara sauce, you know, all those things. I'll still make fresh salsa and maybe jar up some of those because, believe it or not, we're out of salsa in our jars in the pantry. But I just think, for the most part, I'll run all of them through the squeezo because that separates all the seeds and the skins. I don't have any work with that. Once they thaw out, we just plop them in the squeezo and I just go to town, and then I can render it into anything I want.
Yeah. And it puts it where we're doing it all in kind of one batch. I mean, obviously the different sauces have to be done at different times, but we have the entire harvest to work with because it's been frozen. And instead of like, oh, well, I've got enough to do 2 jars, and then you're firing up a canner, like, yeah, it's a whole process. So I think effectiveness and efficiency has been where we've got the freezer space. So why not just bag it up, freeze it, and then when the harvest is totally done, we'll start pulling that stuff out. And especially once this outdoor kitchen is done, that's you know, yeah, that'll make it a game changer. Where right now we kind of are a little leery, and she did it last night where I put her outdoor kitchen, her modified redneck one that we've used in the past, where it's just an outdoor Coleman stove, and put the canner on it because tiny house, 1 air conditioner, and the kitchen's the furthest room away from the air conditioner, and you fire up that stove and let it go in for a couple hours while you're cooking and then heating up the pressure pots. So why not do it outside? And it makes more sense. And that was the big push of why we're doing the outdoor kitchen. Not only does it give us an entertainment space when people want to come over, but also it gives us a spot where we're not heating up the house, and we could still be outside working on other projects, and it's easier than, oh man, am I muddy or whatever, and have to go track stuff through the house. Yeah,
I'm really excited. I'm even more excited because, guys, I found a deal of a lifetime on the marketplace. Wait till you see this. I don't know if I want to spill the beans on it yet because we got to test it out and get it cleaned up and stuff, but from everything I could find on the internet, this product that we got on the marketplace is anywhere between $3,000 to $5,000. Guys, I got it for $100. $100. Really? Yeah. So I'm just super stoked about that. Being able to have this is going to be a game changer, but yeah, setting up it did work. I was a little concerned that the way the pressure canners were sitting, they were not level. So I was kind of concerned that was going to be an issue, but they both came to temp. So I had the 2 running outside and the 1 running inside. And yeah, they all ran cycles and did just fine, and we've got beanie weenies. I can't remember if there were any on this side that needed.
The only one you got that one that bent over here?
Yeah. Of course, these, if you guys remember, are the metal, or the, you know, what?
It's the wire that goes
Yeah.
between the layers of block when you're doing a block foundation.
Yeah.
And when we were cleaning up over on the side of the foundation, and I was cutting some trees down and trying to push that tree line back a little bit, I found a whole stack of these. Well, we weren't doing block that we needed the extra. And then when we go to tear the foundation, there's going to be even more that we'll probably stash somewheres.
I mean, they're great in these tubs.
Yeah.
As I call them my Cinderella trellis, because, you know, I don't know, it kind of reminds me of the...
Yeah, and well, last year what you had done is instead of just one loop going, you had a loop that way and a loop the other way. There was two in each one, but we found that
beans and peas though, so smaller vining.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't doing its thing. But yeah, I need to definitely copper. So if you want, babe, why don't you take the fine people over and you can mix me up some of my copper, and I can get that sprayed.
We just use an awesome pump sprayer. Let some pressure out of it. And then we just use, oh, I guess that side's better, but copper fungicide. And like we said, we don't know if it's something within the soil, like too much water. We've seen suggestions too, because when we did the lick tubs, we only put holes in the very bottom. And of course, in, you know, us actually having a spring this year, we've gotten a ton of rain, which normally happens kind of over winter and a little bit into the spring, but this seems kind of excessive this year. And so I've seen the suggestions of putting holes in the sides, and because I have a, like anything, right? If it's holding and retaining moisture, it's gonna grow mold.
But I don't think it's a mold issue. It's, I mean, pretty sure it's, I don't know. I need to learn more about what blight is. Up until last year, I've never in the north ever had any trouble with blight. So I didn't know what it was when it first came out.
Well, and we know that the topsoil that we put in this year
ain't the best.
Is a lot of clay.
Yeah.
And which is good in a way because it'll help retain and hold some of that water, but I think it's retaining and holding too much.
Here, let me give the people a better view.
But my big holdup of putting holes in the sides of the tubs is I don't have her full irrigation system done up. That's been an experiment the last few years, and
yeah, see, it's sitting all right over there.
Oh, yeah. I think my problem last year was I tried to run too many sprinkler heads off one small line, so I have to break them up.
Oh, there's your coffee chat with the chickens.
There's Rue being mouthy. And there we go, mixed up and ready for her to pump it up and spray on it.
All right, how about I spray the copper and you start the watering?
Okay.
We'll work together.
Well, I'm not working too close to you. I mean, I don't know if there's any warning labels, but I definitely got a dose of copper yesterday.
Sorry. Kind of a madness to my method. Is that what they say? Method to the madness, madness to the method. The way I come down them, I actually come backwards. And I get both sides down each row. And then I go on to the next row, and then I'm able to get the back sides and the other, yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know how I'm gonna do this, holding this. So, obviously I wouldn't probably do time lapse if this was just a normal coffee chat, but I'm just gonna go ahead and do this so that you guys can kind of get an idea of what we're doing. But I need both my hands. So I'm just gonna mount this and you kind of get an idea about what I'm doing. And yeah, someone's already soaking wet.
It didn't take long.
It's already hot.
I mean, it's that time of year. So.
Yeah, yeah. So we're gonna go in and why don't you guys have breakfast with us? Invitation stands.
Okay.
All right, welcome to the kitchen. You all know this kitchen. And no, it's not Pinterest ready. It's a working kitchen on a homestead. So what would you like to eat this morning, my love?
Food. Yeah, eggs and toast.
Eggs
Needs
and
to be simple. It's too hot for anything else.
Okay. I'm gonna wash my hands.
Wash, 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 wash. Yeah, hot days like this, I don't really eat a lot anyways. And it's already warm. We got to get this video done up and sent out to y'all. And then we got to get working. So a lot of times it's very simple. Don't need all the complicated.
Hey, I offered biscuits and gravy and he's like, no, that's too heavy. He's never turned down biscuits and gravy.
It's too hot. The people are getting it. I know they understand. It's like trying to eat chili on a hot summer day. It just don't make no sense.
Let me wash my stove is still dirty from my late night canning stuff. Because I had stuff splattering everywhere.
Well, I'm gonna set you folks right here. You watch. I gotta go get one thing out of the coach. Oh, watch.
I was gonna say, baby, we sold the coach.
Well.
For those that don't know, that was our tour bus that we had. Alright, let me make it a little bit better for you guys. But no, I mean, instead of just sitting in front of the camera with 2 chairs, we thought, you know, let's take you guys with us for our morning and kind of see what you guys, or see what we do every morning before we actually start the content of WhiteRock. Because all this stuff still has to be done. Of course, Maya's having her breakfast, but she'll get another breakfast here in a little bit. If you like this way we're doing it, you know, comment down below. I mean, we're not opposed to changing it. Maybe we'd even get more content on this channel if we're just filming, you know, our everyday stuff. But sometimes we just don't have the talkiness. But here, I'll bring you guys over. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing.
Oh yeah.
Bacon grease. I had to find a new place for the camera because, well, glare. Oh, when you said you didn't cut my toast, I thought you were going to cut my toast.
No, I'd already threw the knife in the sink. I didn't want to dirty another one.
Yeah, but so we're going to get started on getting the roof done on the outdoor kitchen. And, shoot, I don't know. I mean, our goal is to get the outdoor kitchen completely roofed in before, well, before anything else, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, that's been our priority, is trying to get the kitchen done. Because we have stuff, like, we want to get the studio finished. But there's a lot of stuff that's in the studio because it's getting used as storage that can go to the outdoor kitchen. Mm-hmm. And knowing that there's still going to be food preservation, even though we talked earlier about, you know, we like to freeze all the tomatoes and stuff, but we still have a butt ton of zucchini that needs to be.
Mm. I'm actually going to try making zapple. Zapple is a using zucchini and making like an apple pie filling. So Z for the zucchini, like faux apple. I found it on Pinterest. So rather than let it all go to waste, and I don't like frozen zucchini, I figured that would be an easy way to try. Easy thing to do. How was your strawberry jam I made you?
It was amazing.
Yeah? And so we'll take care of that. But I'll still be canning even before we finish the outdoor kitchen. I don't really have a choice. And not only that, but when we butchered all those chickens, we don't have a lot of freezer space either. So we don't have the luxury of just putting the entire garden harvest into the freezer. I dribbled.
Yeah. I was making egg sandwich. It's always really good with the jam and put the egg on there.
I don't know how you can eat that stuff.
Evidently it works better when it's scrambled.
I've never had jam with eggs. You guys had jam with eggs?
Oh,
I've never
yeah.
had, No.
A lot of times, especially when I was in the Marine Corps, you know, you're getting powdered eggs and just, pre-mixed out in the field, and the only way to get a flavor that wasn't bland, because...
Charlie!
Quit! You find different ways to get creative, and I don't know, one day it was like, oh, well, we had toast and we had eggs and put jam on it.
Charlie thinks, well, he's learned how to open up cabinets. So he thinks he needs to go inside my lower cabinet where I was doing the sauerkraut. Which actually that cabinet's open now, so we can, yeah. Got the beanie weenies over here and no place to put them yet. But.
And that's another big push too, I mean, of the things that we need to get done, right? Because we want to get working on doing the new house. Of course. The world's loudest drinker. Because there's just not enough pantry space here. But we've got to get the outdoor kitchen done, get the shop built, so that we have a place to store all this stuff. And then I think, I don't know, we haven't even really put a lot of thought in the transition of where all the canned food is going to go. It's probably going to have to go in the studio. Because we have to keep it climate controlled. And I'm not going to try to heat and cool the entire shop all the time.
Yeah. I think we're trying to work in like a pantry. I mean, the new house is going to have quite a large pantry in the house. But I still don't even know if that's going to be big enough. So... depending on what the elevation looks like, we're not opposed to putting out or putting under some kind of root cellar under the house. It wouldn't be like a full-on basement, but might be able to pull it off. She is so finicky.
Well, and I think
I even made those eggs in bacon grease, and she still wouldn't eat them.
Well, she's ate her whole bowl of food this morning already.
She likes her eggs scrambled in bacon grease. She won't eat them any other way.
You made her that way.
That's what grandmas do.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of the comments, right? A lot of you have suggested, well, just do build an in-ground. And the other part was even for storm shelter. Sorry. We can only go 3 feet, guys. That's the deepest spot I've been able to find of everywhere that I've dug.
Before we hit rock.
Before it is a solid rock shelf. It's not just like, oh, I'm in a bunch of stones. No, it's a solid rock. So
I was actually reading something on Facebook the other day for one of the Ozark type things, and it talks about like the Boston Mountain Range and all the ranges that make up the Ozarks, and how like Mel and Gary's and David's Mountain, that's mostly limestone. Whereas when you get over to our part of the Ozarks, it's, I can't remember the rock that it is, but more from the volcanic action.
This is built on, and actually it was Eric and I, the last time Eric and Missy come over, Eric was like, man, it just seems like there was some sort of, we did the right thing, bleep blooped into the Google machine.
Yeah.
And come to find out that this part of Arkansas here is, these hills and ridges, valleys, this is all
made from
volcanic. And
it was actually underwater at one point.
Yeah.
Well, so they say.
So very interesting, you know what I mean? And that matches with the type of stone that we found around here. And the fact that I've only pulled one big sandstone.
Yeah.
But
it's
and there's
cool rock too.
yeah, there's been a couple spots where I think I've hit some more, but I didn't dig it all the way out. It was just like, hey, that's as far as we need to dig down.
Yeah.
So, but back to the like food cellar, storm shelter, right?
Squirrel.
Yeah, it's gonna have to be something that we'll have to build, and it's gonna be probably mostly exposed.
Well,
Which isn't a big deal, but I think if we do block and then fill it with rebar and concrete and maybe a double layer. Or
yeah,
something.
but I mean, Mel and Gary said that they would come over and teach us how to lay the block, because I really would like to see our new house on a crawl space, even if it graduates to even a 6-foot basement cellar area. I remember Mama's house when Papa inherited his dad's house. It had a dirt cellar in it, and that's where Mama kept all of her preserved foods. It wasn't real tall, and then even my first house in Orland, Indiana was built in 1880, and it had what is called a Michigan cellar underneath, so you could still see the logs. They didn't even like mill the lumber or the flooring. They were literal logs, still rounded.
Yeah.
And but it was dirt, and it always stayed cool. Charles. Oh, that cat.
Well, and that's a depth thing too, right? That's why like up north where you can build basements that are fully underground, right? There's maybe one block if you're doing a block foundation, you know, so 8 to 12 inches is all that's really above grade. Everything is below, so it does maintain that certain ground temperature. But here where we can't get that deep, now it's not to say that we can't do it and then fill dirt on top, but then we have to get the dirt from somewhere.
Yeah.
So
We're still working on that. I mean, we're a ways away from starting a new house.
There's going to be quite a bit of excavation once we tear this down.
After you get the backhoe rebuilt.
Right.
There's always something.
Yeah.
But, well, we're going to wrap this up, guys, because as much as we would love to sit here and procrastinate the obvious is we need to get out and work. Well, first I got to get this video, guys, out for you guys. But, yeah, I know both of us are dreading the heat, but we got to do it.
Right. But it's got to be done. So,
yep.
Let our food settle while you're getting this all done up and sent out to these wonderful people.
Hopefully you guys enjoyed our little walkabout today and learn a little bit more about our everyday, because we don't show the everyday. And
it's always a little bit at a time, guys, right? I mean, we get bummed about not having huge steps in progress, but every little bit counts towards going towards your goals. So don't beat yourself up when you don't get as far as you thought you should. There's always tomorrow.
Yeah.
All right. We'll see you guys.
Peace out.